right. The preacher, the breacher, riding with purpose. I tell you, I'm excited today. So excited that I know it's gonna rain. But I got my rain gear on. Hey, I paid for it. Might as well use it. Oh, look at that squirrel. You know, that's the thing about these squirrels, but it's kind of like us too. Squirrel got it made, you know, just get his food, go up in the tree, but nope, it has to go out in traffic. It's got to run in front of a car and get killed. You know, it's kind of crazy, but I know it's a little early in the morning for these analogies. But anyway, it's kind of like us. A lot of time we have it made, but we just got to do something. I mean, something to mess it all up. But anyway, I am excited today because I'm so excited, as I said, that I'm going to risk riding in the rain. Well, I know it is going to rain, so it's not an if or ands about it, because it's a 95% chance. But I have to get this footage today. I have to show y'all this veteran that we're about to go see at the Palmetto Patriots Home, veteran Charles Davis. I call him Elder Davis because before he came to the Palmetto Patriots Home, he was an elder in his local church. And you know our motto, and it's not just a motto, but it's the truth, that God's purpose has no age limit, no ability limit on it. And what I mean by that, of course I understand that you're not going to be able to do some of the things you did when you was young, or some of the things that you did when you had use of all your faculties and stuff like that. So I mean, I understand that. But when I say God's purpose for your life don't have an age limit or ability limit, meaning God factored all that in from the beginning. You know, I'm not worried about a little dog like that. It's some big dogs, man. I can outrun that thing, you know. But God factored all that stuff in. He knew how old we was going to be. He knew what our physical health was going to be. He knew what our mental health was going to be. He knew what our financial status, you name it. God knew it all, and he purposed all that in us. What I mean by, so he knew what was going to happen, so it didn't catch him off guard, and he was like, oh man, I can't use him now. So Elder Davis was he was an elder, and he's an elder at the Palmetto Patriots Home. We use him for prayers and preaching on the revivals, all that stuff. And as a matter of fact, I'm so excited about it because I call him the veteran father, the veteran spiritual father. I'm watching that train track. The veteran spiritual father of the Palmetto Patriots Home, because he was there before I was there, and that's why I'm excited today, because I'm going to show you, for all intents and purposes, my spiritual father, as in, for us being at the Palmetto Patriots Home, Charles Davis, or Elder Davis. And I'm telling you, you're going to love him. Everybody there love him. He's just an inspiration. And I mean, a positivity. I'm telling you, I'll let him tell you in his own words. But when I know, I'm going to say it to his, I don't tell him a million times, but, I'm going to say it also when I'm around him on camera a little bit later on when we interview him. But I'm telling you, he means a lot to me. and he was one of the ones. Him and Pastor Phelps, another veteran there, and before, even though I'm illustrating these two, I've learned a lot continuously from all the veterans there. But it's just the day that we're going to see Elder Davis. But he was one, along with Pastor Phelps, was very instrumental in me taking a compliment. Now, I play around a lot, and especially at work. I tell you, if y'all see me at Palmetto Patriots Home, those of you who knew me from my other jobs, and even personally, you'll be like, what? That's the same guy. I'm telling you, I guess in my old age, I ain't gonna say my old age, it's just that in my enlightenment and growing in the Lord, I learned, man, I have fun. Not that I wasn't having fun before, but it's a whole nother part of my personality that I never really expressed before. And I'm telling you, I'm taking it to the limit at Palmetto Patriots. I probably get on their nerves sometimes. And I know if someone watching, they probably going, yep, he get on your nerves. But he helped me, and Pastor Phelps helped me learn how to take a compliment, as a believer. Because, especially when I'm doing something for the Lord, you know what I mean, whether it's ministry, and someone give me a compliment, oh, no, it's God, man, it's God, no, don't go give me the glory. And I would see the expression on people's face, and I would see the expression of disappointment on a veteran face, because, they realize, and they know, I know I couldn't do nothing without Christ. They know I know all of that, but they was giving me a genuine compliment, like, hey, brother, you still got to be used by him or submit to him. You didn't have to submit, but you did. This is the Holy Spirit, God using you, but you allowing him to use you. So we giving you a compliment, thanking you on just being a part of the body of Christ, and just allowing God to use you. And then when I start looking at it from that aspect, that I'm not taking God's glory, but I'm actually being a witness for God, that God can use you, and no matter who you are. And so when I start looking at it from that point of view, another point of view, of course, they ain't got time to get to it all, because we get to this interview. Palmetto Patriots Home. There we come. All right. So, but they taught me how to take a compliment, to say, thank you, brother. And then, of course, I still, to God be the glory, but I'll at least say thank you. Because that's kind of rude. Someone giving you a compliment, and then you just disregard it, don't acknowledge it, and they really speaking from their heart, man. I didn't realize I was making people feel like, well, dang, okay then, they were genuinely from their heart, want to show their appreciation. So now, bottom line, I know how to say thank you, brother, thank you, sister. Appreciate that, Yeah. Then I can say something to the effect, like I said, to God be the glory, or I can say stuff like, whew, it was a long road, but God finally got me there. I can say something like that. Fine, but at the same time, people need acknowledgments, and then I acknowledge that. They taught me how to acknowledge. And I am thankful for that. But we here now. So I'm going to go get set up. And y'all will see what I'm talking about. Elder Charles Davis. So Chaplain Jameson, the preacher, riding with purpose. And that purpose today is to see the veteran spiritual father of this beautiful place right here. And I'm telling you, it's the spirituality. And anybody that has been here would tell you it's a great atmosphere. Now, don't get me wrong, there's problems everywhere. You know, where there's people, there's going to be problems. Where there's you, there's going to be problems. Where there's me, there's going to be problems. Meaning none of us are perfect. And we all going to, do something, whether it's small or big. So there's no perfection anywhere. But this place right here is absolutely dripping in the spirit of God. And y'all get ready to see someone that's very crucial, a vital part of that. Elder Charles Davis. All right, we'll get with you when we set up for the interview. All right, we done got good and set up now. I'm with my Palmetto Patriots Home spiritual father in the ministry, Elder Charles Davis. As we was talking about on the ride up here, I'm very excited today because I tell you, everybody's here special now. Don't get me wrong. But for as my ministry and for as my role and my job position at Palmetto Patriots Home, this gentleman right here, like I say, he's my veteran Palmetto Patriots Home veteran spiritual father, because what we'll get into a little later, the ministry that God has blessed me with here, I don't feel that it would be having the success that it's having had I not gotten a blessing from this man right here. But I'm gonna let Elder Davis introduce himself, and then we'll go from there. But go ahead, Elder.
Oh, well, I'm Elder Charles Ray Davis. I used to be a veteran. I was E5, second class, petty officer in the United States Navy.
And thank you for the ride, sir. I was a Marine. that was the first Uber drivers.
and I spent 8 years in there, and I loved it. I loved every second I was in the military. It was fun. It was hard at first, and then it turned into being just a easy go to work job, and it was a good job, and we fought and had our missions that were completed, and what I did, I was a F-14 radar tech, and a radar tech, he would be the one that made the targets light up on the screen, and you had different missions that each one had, and you just you completed it. So it was an interesting job. It was an important job, and it was a job that you took. When you put it on, you found out that it wasn't just a saying, it was a thing, and people really looked up to us, and it was a very, very, very important job. So we had plenty. Every time the planes go out, we go up and do our thing, and it was good. And then as the years went on, I went from being just an E5 tech to being a final checker, and that was the guys who if you ever saw the movie Top Gun, those are the guys who did the checked all all underneath the plane, and just as they was going up, getting ready to go up, and you give your thumbs up and your thumbs up, and they would, you gave flashlight down, they didn't down. If it went up, it went up. So that was a wow, interesting job.
Yeah, I bet so.
You learn more than just your job. You learn airframes, missiles. You learn every part of the plane, and so it was a very good job. It made it interesting. Made it interesting.
Okay, awesome. So now I know we're gonna definitely do another segment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where we probably can do even more deep dive. But
Yeah.
you know, but I want to let y'all get a brief introduction of the man. I mean, you see the smile. I mean, this guy. You know, now don't let his face fool you. This an old guy right here. but I'm telling you, he's
67.
he still look young, skin. I mean, you know, and then you can see the smile, you can see the joy, and I tell you that's what just been a blessing. So how long have you been here at the Palmetto Patriots Home?
I was the 22nd person here into the Palmetto Patriots Home, and it was. I tell you, it was thanks to my daughter, my youngest daughter. She kept saying, "Dad, you gotta go see. You gotta go." And I kept saying, "Nah, I'm fine where I was at." And
So where was you at?
I was at Anderson at Richard Campbell.
Okay.
And I just I'm settled here. This is where I'm gonna be at. And everything. So you got to go, Dad, please. For me, just for me, just for my sake, just take the trip. So me and my wife on a Thursday, we went up, we drove up, and we were shocked. We were shocked first to see the buildings, and then just the atmosphere that was set up, and we went in the doors, and from there, from the time the doors opened up until they closed, I knew that this was gonna be my home.
I heard that.
And it was God filled. You could feel the love. You could feel the atmosphere wasn't just people put on a smiling face. It really meant something. People who work here, and it was a joy. It really was a joy, and we went through, and every time we would go in different departments and everything, it was just everybody's just the same. Everybody was full of happiness, joy. They wanted to get the job done, and that was good.
Yeah, like I said, people, you know, I say it a lot, but you have to experience it for yourself. Because, everybody says that about whatever.
Right.
But when we say it,
it means it. That's right.
For real. The spirit, man, it's just a different atmosphere.
It is definitely a different atmosphere. And then we went to the chapel, and it was, when I first time I went in the chapel, I said, God lives here.
That's right.
I said, God lives here, because you could feel the movement, the spirit of God move throughout this place. Mm-hmm.
And what he said, now this is before I came along. Now he was here before I started volunteering,
Mm-hmm.
and then after I volunteered for a while, then I was hired on full time. But before I got here, they didn't have a full-time chapel.
Right.
And so, and I want to hear Elder Davis just to tell a little bit about this is why I call him my veteran spiritual father here, because it wasn't a chaplain here. So since y'all didn't have a chaplain, what did y'all do?
We just different people would come up and give a word or whatever, and then we started a Bible study, and that's when things started really happening. We started delving into the scriptures and do it so that everybody was involved. It wasn't just listening to one guy all the time. It was everybody. Every veteran here had something to say. They had something to talk about. I led what scripture we started from, and from there it just went from there on. And we had a good time. We spent just an hour, but man, it seemed like an hour was 2-3 hours long because of the feel of the spirit.
Right. So, and like I said, when I started volunteering, Elder Davis and the guys, in particular Elder Davis, because like I said, he was facilitating. I call it that.
Yeah, facilitating.
But actually he was the first chaplain,
Mm-hmm.
in the building, because he was fulfilling that role. And like I say, he or they had a system already set up so that when I did start volunteering and I did eventually become the full-time chaplain, the system was already in place.
Mm-hmm.
And I owe these guys, because I know as a volunteer, I really had no idea at that time that I was going to be a full-time chaplain here.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you, but once I started volunteering, and I felt the spirit, I felt the presence, and then in the system that y'all already had set up, I said, you know what? I got to get up here. and so, we filled out the application and whatnot. But it wasn't going fast enough for me then, because I think I started volunteering in March.
March, yeah.
It was somewhere on that time, late February or March. And when I saw y'all guys and how hungry y'all were, and it wasn't for form or fashion. I mean, y'all wanted God. Y'all wanted to work. And I said, I got to get up in here. And then, so it wasn't moving fast enough. So I filled out an application to drive. I filled out an application to be to work in the janitorial part or the environmental. And I was gonna get here one way or the other. and because really, and then when I did get here, one thing I believe in, what the Bible teaches, give honor where honor is due. Because I've seen your work, and I've seen not just your work. Well, your work showed me that, and I see how the other veterans,
right,
look towards you
mm-hmm.
for that spiritual connection. And so when I came in, that's why when I came full time, I asked him.
Yes, he did.
I asked him. I said, I know I'm a chaplain, but do I have permission? Do I have permission? Because actually the time that they had already set for Bible study, that became my time for Bible study as the chaplain. And I was in no way going to come up here, well, I'm a chaplain now. No, because I seen what was here was of God.
Yes.
It wasn't a man. This was of God. And through trials and tribulations, I know things of God, you need to go in it with God, by God, be led by God. So I knew that if I wanted to keep the spirit moving and flowing the way it was, I had to go to you.
Yes.
Because God had placed you here to carry that until I got here. So that's why I went to this guy right here and asked him. And then he was like, sure, go ahead.
Yeah, I was shocked. I was like, ask me. You need to ask me. You tell me. He said, no, I gotta ask. I have to get your permission because you set everything up, and then it would be wrong of me just to come in and take over. So I want you to really give into this. So it was easy. It was like thank God you got somebody here who's gonna be dedicated to do it because seeing the work that Chaplain Jameson does is unbelievable and the hours he puts in and so that was that was a sign that he's the one, he's the guy, and his first preaching he done, man, he had people standing, shouting, amen, and that was not how it was. It was different. So we knew that we found a person that God wanted here, that God needed here.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Because, like I say, I believe, well, we both, all of us, getting just as much from each other.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, this guy right here, him and Pastor Phelps, they will tell, okay, you hear how he talking about, saying what he's saying about me now. When I first got here, I'd be like, no, don't say that.
Yeah,
It's the Lord.
yeah.
I don't say that. It's God. It's God. Which it is God.
Yeah.
You know that. But he taught me, how to take a compliment. I had a hard time doing it.
Yes, he did. He was rough. We would say, man, no, I come from the Lord. We know that, but you know, and we constantly, week after week, we tell him, and day every day he come in, we tell him, and so he finally said, okay, I guess I have to give in.
It was rough, man. I mean, I'm telling you, that was rough. But here we are, 4 years or 5 years, I don't know, it's just flying by.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm telling you, these guys, especially Elder Davis, man, they have helped me mature, in my ministry. They have helped me mature as a man. And I thank y'all.
And one of the funny thing was, and this might be hard to say, but he would never hold his wife's hand.
Why you gotta be bringing all this in there?
We would never.
And
so he come in, and Pastor Phelps would come in and hold hands with Sister Phelps, and different ones. People would come in and sit, and the candles were sitting there. He just I get.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna be professional. I was like, I was gonna be professional. I ain't coming in holding my wife's hand, and I thank God for my wife because she would come and sing. And then, but like Elder said, I started seeing them. I mean, in chapel, holding their wife's hand and stuff. and then it softened me. I was like, you know what? It's okay. It's okay.
It's all right.
I ain't got to be,
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, man, I've grown. Whoo! I've grown so much.
We learned a lot from him, but we in turn was teaching him.
Yeah.
How to lead.
Right. So now what we're gonna do though? We're gonna go ahead and because we're gonna come back and let Elder Davis let us know how, especially some of his ministry, how he became elder, and then also, like I say, he's at the veteran home, but I'm telling you, he realized that this is a place where God placed him to still be of service and be of service and teach an old man, like stubborn person, people like me, which is always go. I said every Sunday, every time, God purpose don't have an age limit or ability limit. I always say that because you are living proof, man. You Elder Davis out there spiritually, and that calling even in here, you Elder Davis. Like I say, you the veteran spiritual father here. So that calling for God is with you here, and I thank God for it. And like I say, inspiration, and like I say, I can't say enough about this guy. Now he also, which we'll talk about later on. Now he also give inspirational moments on his Facebook page, and so we'll get into that later. But I do want to thank you, Elder, for taking the time out for right now, man. You know, even though you're making me look bad, I'm younger than him, but to look at him, you can't tell. I'm sitting over here looking like an old man. But and then I want to apologize to everyone that for this Clemson Tiger mess he got going on, which we actually had some bets before. Now I bet if that first season, that time that I forgot what year it was, but the Gamecocks won, beat Clemson, so he had to actually. I forgot. Anyway, I got the picture.
Walk around with the Gamecock emblem on the back of my chair.
Yeah, you had to walk. Cause see, right now he got this Clemson Tiger tail. I hope you can see it right here. And anyway, but he had to put a Gamecock. But then, of course, Clemson won again. I had to take a picture and all that crazy stuff, this Clemson stuff. But besides that, though, the guy's perfect. Outside of that Clemson stuff, great guy. But we are gonna get back with y'all on the next episode of The Preacher and the Preacher. Hey man, it's raining out, so the preacher outside. But you got the preacher, Chaplain Jameson, with my spiritual veteran father of the Palmetto Patriots Home, Elder Charles. Anything you want to say before we get out of here?
One thing for sure, we are, from the camera and this and another, but what you see is what you got.
Yeah.
We laugh, everything right here is shown right there. So he ain't hiding nothing.
You know what? I'm glad he said that, because on the ride up, I was telling them. Now, people who know me, police with me, with the school with me, or work with me, I wouldn't. Kind of like to hold a hand, man. I'm all. But I told them when I got here, man, they wouldn't believe. Like this right here, I'm telling you, this is us. I'm glad you brought that up, man. This is it, and I hadn't had so much joy.
Yeah.
I'm able to be like that. I guess that's the real me.
Yeah.
And I guess that's but that's why things flowing. I'm in my purpose, and when you're in your purpose.
And it's not seen just between us. It's throughout the whole unit.
It is.
Every hall you go down, every house, you feel God.
Yeah, right. The veteran and staff. Man, we all the time laughing. Don't get me wrong, nothing perfect, but we all the time laughing, joking.
Right.
That's just the atmosphere.
That's how it is. That's how it is. And you just, once you come in the doors, you got to come and see what we're talking about, because we're not throwing fab and stuff out there. Yeah. We're telling you the truth.
Right.
Walk in the door, you feel God.
Right. And we doing like typical preachers do. We don't close the door of this church, close the door of this video about 3 or 4 times. It still ain't got out. But to reiterate what Elder is saying, I already told my wife, because I'm a Marine veteran, and hopefully I won't need the services here, and I just continue to serve here as a chaplain. But I already told my wife, because the atmosphere is so genuine. I said, if anything ever happens to me, and you can't keep, take care of us,
right.
I told her flat out, do not hesitate.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't, and I mean that, don't hesitate, because it's a wait list. I said, don't hesitate. Get me in here. You know? So, because like I say, and hopefully these seeds I'm sowing, because this guy not only, he preaching our annual revivals that we have, and like I say, he pray in our services. So we you being used, and you're gonna continue to be used. So hopefully, if Lord only knows, but hopefully I know sowed enough seed that some chaplain say, all right, old man, come up here and you say something. but we're gonna close this thing now. But thank y'all. And I'm telling you, next session he'll get even more deeper on some things. But this is the man right here, my veteran spiritual father of the Palmetto Patriots Home. Until next time, Chaplain Jameson, preacher, the preacher, riding with a purpose.
All right.